Coach, watching a little bit of the drills you were doing with the running backs, looks like you're not a fan of special treatment for the veterans or the stars. Everyone gets the best and worst view as far as critique. Is that a fair assessment?
100%.
Yeah.
As we say, 100.
Yeah.
Everything. It's about ball security, it's job security anywhere across the country. It's something that I'm going to emphasize. It's something we do every day. Would you have players that have been here in the spring? I expect them to lead it, and then the new players follow suit with that. And we have a couple of new bodies here and new faces, and then you know how we work. So when you're starting the drills, most of the drills we're doing, day one drills, or emphasis is going to be on ball security and finishing and blocking. I have a big old sign in my office. It says "No block, no rock," which means you got to learn how to pass protect, because when you got a guy like Noah Fafita, you better take care of him. So that's some of the things that we work on. And then it's the effort, red line, which we've introduced. That's an effort thing. That's 100. That's going all out. Just making sure that you can control that. Those are controllables. And effort is something I'm going to demand. And you'll see it in the drills coming on and off the field, whatever it is. That's what we want to do.
Justin and then Troy.
When you were looking at Kedrick and looking to bring him on, what qualities did he show you that made you want to bring him on?
Just the versatility that he has. You know, he's a 215-pound running back that has a track background. He was a high school triple jumper. You watch his film, you just see a lot of contact balance. You know, he has a nice lower body, explosive twitch to him that you like to see, like he can break tackles. And you didn't see him catch the ball a lot, but you can kind of see the athleticism. And when he went to Ole Miss, you know, you knew going there, he was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school, one of the top players in the country. And he'd been in the SEC, so you knew he had that background behind him, coming from the state of Texas, which has a lot of good football. So I knew he could bring something different to the table. He has a lot of patience and great vision. And as he continues to practice, he's only a sophomore, you will see that start to come out. He had a couple of good runs today. After watching film from yesterday to today, you can see the progression. And I'm excited about tomorrow because we'll be in shoulder pads. So you'll continue to see that good contact balance and just what he brings to the table, which is a little different from what the other guys do.
And him and Jacory are new to the mix with your group. What have they shown you so far?
I mean, Jacory, if you've been at practice, you kind of can see he's special. It's just a matter of him understanding what we do. And the key word to him is teaching him patience and just detailing things. And he appreciates that. He likes the tough coaching. He wants answers. He's a young man that will come in and ask you, Coach, how did that look? Not to get the pat on the back or the validation, but he wants to know what he needs to work on. And when you have a person that's like that, those are the type of kids you like coaching. And Kedrick's the same way. They sit together in the meeting rooms. They're in the very front, on the front row. They ask a lot of questions, and they spend a lot of time in the building trying to make sure they're matching what Quali and Speedy bring to the room, because they were here in the spring. So they want to make sure when we do rotate and then it doesn't fall off, and then it brings the best out of even young guys. You see Brandon Johnson had a good day today. So just having, like I said earlier, when you have 5 guys that can do the things they're doing, it's fun to coach, but it's also that iron sharpens iron type of mentality, and they compete every day. And it's been a pleasure coaching them so far.
Troy and then Jason.
You mentioned that you guys are going to be going in full pads tomorrow, or with pads, I should say, tomorrow. What are you looking for? What do you want to see out of your group tomorrow during practice?
Just getting better every day. You know, the improvement, whether I'm big on whether you have pads on or not. Are you using the proper fundamentals? You know, is your pad level down? It's tough when you're just tagging off, but when you're thudding, now you know that, well, am I running too high? If you see every drill I did, I had to shoot, making sure that they're finishing, running through something, some kind of contact, making sure that their pad level is down. And then we'll get a chance to block some bodies tomorrow. When everybody else do one-on-ones and doing routes, you will see us doing one-on-ones, doing pass pro against the linebackers. So we'll get a chance to really get after it and see where we are from a protection standpoint and from a finishing standpoint. I'm big on finishing and winning one-on-one battles. And you never know what a one-on-one battle is until you get those pads on and you get to that second or third level. I'm really, really big on that.
Jason and David.
You rebuilt the running back room. Speedy's one of the guys that's returning. Ideally, what kind of role do you see him having this season?
I mean, he can do it all. he just brings a different element to the team. He runs 10-3. He's gotten bigger, he's gotten stronger. You can see his body has changed, and he's very patient. He's another one that the improvements jump out at you, just showing how he's learned how to run more patient. I'm challenging him to be the top kick returner in the Big 12. I'm challenging him to be on 2 or 3 special teams, just having an impact, not only in that space as far as the backfield, but in the special team space as well. And then week to week, when it comes to game planning, our coordinator will figure out ways how to get the ball in his hands and help us win football games because he's a special football player.
And then in this day and age of offense and all that, when you're running back, do they have to be able to catch the ball? How much of an emphasis?
That's an everyday thing. Big emphasis in the offseason, especially. I mean, they would do jugs every day. Speedy is real close with Montana. That's one of his closest friends. They did a lot of stuff together. Him and Quali spent a lot of time together just working on catching the ball. That's something that we emphasize every day. And then when you got a guy like Noah Fafita, which is just a gym rat, he loves football. He always out having some kind of PRPs or throwing sessions. The running backs are involved in that. So that's a part of our game. You want to be a complete running back. I was just talking to the scouts about that. Our guys can run, they can catch the ball, they can block. They're very unselfish. But when you get a chance to catch a ball in zero pressure or some kind of man-to-man situation, you got to be able to catch that ball and win your one-on-one battle. And I think that's what the guys bring to the table.
David and then Michael.
Coach, 2 questions. First, when you have a stacked running back room like you do, and you have a couple guys like Alonzo Carter who have not practiced here before, how do you decide what the pecking order is going to be to start?
It's tricky because you're going to get so many reps a day. When you have 7 guys in your room, the reality of them, I tell them, is you're going to try to rotate 5 guys in the practice that it fits where they get enough reps to get better. And as we continue to practice, while we're healthy, that 5-man rotation turns to a 4-man rotation. And then you kind of pick your spots depending on what is the emphasis for that day to where I think they would fit, and showing them do different things in different ways, whether it be catching a screen or catching the ball out of the backfield or being in 3rd down situations or being in red zone situations. So it all depends on what we're practicing that day. Coach Babers does a great job. Him and Coach Atkins and Coach Oglesby, they kind of game plan everything on what we're doing in the run game and the pass game. So we get a chance to talk about it at night. So going into it, I always pre-put who I think I want to be in the reps for the next day. And then that next morning, I rewrite it all up. And I kind of let the guys know this is probably how you're going to be used tomorrow. And then that morning at the morning meetings, I made a couple of changes and kind of slept on it. And I think this person fits better for this or this person fits better for that. Because right now we're still scripting our practices, but at some point there won't be no scripts. It's going to have to be, you got to know it all. But right now I'm just trying to get them up to speed with Quali and Rayshawn as far as knowing it like they know it, because they know it inside out because they've been here in the spring. But they've done a great job of catching up, and you will see them get more and more reps as we go into fall practice.
And in one of your ball security drills, I think you're using a term, vice the ball.
Yes.
What are kind of the core values of your?
Well, that's, you have different, everybody uses different language, how they use it, the 6 points of pressure with that ball's chin. Not make you always tell me if the back door is open, I mean, there's air in there, make sure that back door is closed. And when they put that hand across, that's vicing it, or like some people, they like to X the ball. So whatever is comfortable for them when they're in that, what I call black hole space. Black hole space is from the line of scrimmage to the second level where the linebackers are. You don't know where that pressure is coming from. You don't know if it's a linebacker or a defensive lineman. So even though it looks good, you running in there with that ball and you untouched while it's tagged and you think you have a touchdown, the reality of it, treat it like your eyes are closed and you can't see from here to there. You're going to make sure that ball's secured. So that's something you're going to hear me emphasize every day.
Michael and then Damian.
2 questions for you as well. The first one is, when you get to games, how many running backs do you feel like
can be utilized in a like workable rotation?
Well, in the past, we've had a lot of success being able to get 3 to 4 guys in there. I know even here, they've had great success playing 3 or 4 guys as well. Each season is different. Like I said, you always want to play to the strengths of your personnel. So right now we're healthy. So in a perfect storm, if the season started tomorrow, I would try to find a way of getting all 4 of those guys on the football field. And now what that is, we have to game plan and see what that is. Who gets what and how. You can be creative and try to get them 2 on the field at the same time. It just all depends on what their game plan is, and I can't do too much of that. Man, you gotta play New Mexico. So, but we'll try to find ways of making sure that those guys are on the football field. But I'm gonna say this. I said this the other day. For me, a third of football is the special team space. I think sometimes we get so caught up in the offense, defense, special team. So playing to me is that too. I'm challenging all 5 of my guys. Are you a starter on punt team? Are you a starter on kickoff team? Are you a starter on kickoff return? Because a lot of times people think running back, they just think running kicks. No, there's other ways you can affect the game. And if I'm bragging and saying I have one of the more athletic rooms in the Big 12 and in the country, well, it needs to show up not only in the backfield, but it needs to show up in the special team space. So I think that's something that having a head coach that has a special teams background, you will see more of those guys being utilized, not only just in the running back space, but in the special team space. So I would like to see all 4 or 5 of those guys impact us in winning football games.
And the other question, how would you summarize the process of getting Jacory in here, official, all the paperwork done,
Just love. Put your arm around them and love them and tell them this. When you came here in February, we the same people that you said yes to back then. We're the same people when you visited us and you fell in love with Tucson, Arizona, when you fell in love with the Arizona football program and staff, with the University of Arizona. We're still here, and we haven't changed from the head coach to Coach Gonzalez, which was his former head coach, to myself. We're all here. If he had a situation where he could have been signed and come to school earlier, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation. But when you verbally commit, you still got to graduate from college, which he did. Congratulations to him. Got his degree in May. There was still 3 months for people to kind of poke around and say, hey, what about over here? And it's only human to entertain some of that stuff. But when it boils down to it, he's here now. We're focusing on the now. I love that kid. I love coaching that kid. He's from Montgomery, Alabama. My family's from Troy, Alabama. So when I got a chance to meet his mom, I got a chance also to go home and see the Carter side of my family in Alabama. So I know what his background is. I know what he stands for. So it's been a pleasure working with him. And you've only seen a drop of what he can do. As we continue to progress and he accepts coaching, you will see the best come out of that young man.
Last question to Damien.
You mentioned the red line motto. How do you establish that red line mentality?
That's an effort, man. We love it. You hear me yelling red line, red line, red line, yelling it all day. 100 is something that's an effort. That's just something that you can control. Coach Brennan is big on emphasizing control the controllables. And everybody can control effort. Regardless of your talent, you can control effort. So when you match talent with just 100 effort, now it becomes special. Whether it be on offense, defense, or special teams, you got all these guys just playing hard and they playing in swarms, and you just get the chance to play against somebody. Soon as you think that wave is tired, here come another wave. And that's how I want people to look at the running back room like, man, I just got through tackling and chasing this guy. Here come another one. And he's coming in with even more energy and more effort. So the red line mantra is something real here. It's not something that you see him posted around. When you see 100, when you hear prove it, and when you hear own it, fix it, those are things that is real. It's something that I've been a part of with Coach Brennan's staff for the past 8 years, and it's been consistent, and we're glad to have it here at U of A. And I think you'll see all phases of the game be affected by that red line mentality. So that's something that's real, and we really live by that.